In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the basic things to keep in mind when you're on the call with a prospect. You're talking to somebody about your coaching services. Maybe they reached out to you, maybe you reached out to them, but you're on a call with them. Now you're on a call. What are some things to keep in mind? And I've broken them down into 6 essential components because when I'm training my clients, these are some things we work on over and over again. And they're probably the most consistent things that come up in terms of what to improve. So let's just list them down. We have vocal tonality, we have control, authority, trust, eagerness, and body language. I'll be making individual videos for all of these, but for now, I want to give you an overview of what these things are. So vocal tonality, essentially how you talk to someone, how you say something, not what you say, which a lot of people are worried about, but how you say it. So for example, one of my clients, she was trying to understand why someone is doing a certain thing in their job search strategies. Like, why are you applying to 100 jobs? So when you say it like that, why are you applying to 100 jobs? Sometimes it comes across as accusatory, or it comes across as belittling. Like, why are you doing this? You know you shouldn't be doing it. So if you take the same thing and you change up the tonality, instead of saying, why are you doing this? And you just add some context and you say, just so I understand, why are you doing this? It changes the dynamic of what you say. The words are the same, but the way your tonality reflects, it's different. So one thing I like to train my clients on is something called friendly curiosity. So essentially, friendly curiosity is coming in with a mind of just trying to understand. So pretend for this sales call that you don't have any expertise in what you're teaching them, okay? Or you have no expertise in whatever the challenge is. You're just trying to look from an outwards lens, trying to understand their problem, and you're just trying to figure everything out. So you're going to be curious and you're going to be friendly because there's nothing at stake for you. You're not selling anything. So when someone says, well, I've been looking for a job for a long time and I can't find it, and I've been trying to apply everywhere, networking doesn't work, you can say, okay, I'm curious, why do you think networking doesn't work? And that way, the tonality comes across really friendly, as opposed to, why do you think networking doesn't work? It works for everyone else. Very, very different ways of putting the same thing. So vocal tonality is something to be very aware of. Some people I found they're either too friendly or they're too serious. So one of my clients, he's just going to be like a robot. What do you want? What are you looking for? What are your challenges? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? And it's very serious. Now, the way you talk to somebody is going to determine what level of trust you build with them. So if it's very conversational, just two people talking like friends, they're going to be relaxed, there's going to be less pressure. But if it's very formal, very strict, very serious, they're going to feel serious. They're not going to feel as conversational. They're going to feel that it's a very high pressure conversation, so they won't tell you a whole lot. So it's very easy. It's very good for you to just kind of lay back a little bit, friendly curiosity, have a conversation with someone. Don't be too serious and don't be too personal. Number 2 is control. Who's maintaining control of the conversation? You're the expert. You need to be asking the right questions. A good way to see who maintains control is who's asking more questions. If you're asking more questions, you're in more control. They're asking more questions, they're in control. Now, there's a saying, if you let the client ask all the questions on the call, it's kind of like you behind the driver's seat and someone else is steering the wheel from the passenger seat. It just doesn't work like that. So you have to be in control. Now, there's an art to it, because sometimes what will happen is you'll ask them a question, they will answer, and they'll ask you another question. And then you will reply with an answer. So let's say if you say, can you afford my price? And they're like, well, yeah, but does it come with a guarantee? And then you go on like a 5-minute pitch about how you don't do guarantees, or maybe you do guarantees only under certain conditions. And then they listen to your answer, and then they're like, okay, oh, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? What about that? Now they're asking questions. You're answering. Is this back and forth defense, offense, and you've lost control of the conversation. So throughout the entire sales process, you need to be the one asking questions. You need to be the one in control. Number 3 is authority. How much do they feel that you know what you're talking about? Now, a lot of people think, I need to give advice. I need to tell them what to do. I need to tell them what's wrong and what's right. I don't believe in that. I think you maintain authority by asking smart questions. Like a doctor, when you go to a doctor's office, they ask you questions about, have you been sleeping at night? Okay. Are you drinking enough water? What are you having for food? That kind of thing. And because they're asking you smart questions, they're having you think about your process. They're making you think. You can see these people know what they're talking about because they're asking the right questions. Instead, a lot of people, what they do is, let me give some advice. Let me tell what this person's doing wrong so I feel better about myself. I feel validated. If I can tell them what they're doing wrong and what I'm doing right, they'll want to trust me. they'll want to hire me. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. It's kind of like going to someone and telling them their t-shirt sucks and they should buy yours. No one's going to feel good about being told that their approach is incorrect. Okay, there's a finesse to doing it. So what is the level of authority you have on the call? And this is the way in which you handle questions. If they ask you tough questions, do you shy away from it? If they ask you the price, do you just not give them the price at all? Do you shy away from difficult questions like, can you guarantee this? Or your price is too high? Or why is it so expensive compared to this? Can you handle those questions? Or do you crumble under the pressure? That shows authority. Trust is how much do they like you? How much do they trust what you're saying is true? So some of the questions will be, will this work? Will this work for me? And will this work? Will this work for me? And can I work with you? Okay. So if someone's hiring you, they're going to think of these questions. Will this work? I know it's worked for your other clients, but will it work for me? And is this the person to help me in my specific scenario? So you build trust with them. The other thing of trust is people will be a lot more open with you when they trust you. So if you're getting the, I want to think about it, I'll let you know, give me a few days and I'll let you know, they're not being honest about what the actual issue is. Whatever the actual issue is, they feel uncomfortable telling you that because there isn't that level of trust involved. If they feel the price is too expensive, or that you're much more expensive than someone else, or that your program's not going to help them out, they're not going to say that to you. A lot of people feel it's very confrontational to tell someone, listen, you're too expensive, or I don't think your service is worth the amount you're asking for. Instead, they'll say, let me think about it, I'll let you know, and then they'll go think about it and either ghost you or not reply. So when you have trust built with someone, and you build trust by listening, asking questions, recapping, making sure you make them feel understood. Again, we're going to go into a lot more detail in another video. You build trust with someone. So when you have trust, there's no objections that come up. If the objection comes up, you can easily say, okay, it sounds like you're having problems with the money. I just like to understand. I don't want to put you in a bad spot. What is it about the money that's making this difficult for you? If I can help you, I'd help. If not, I can recommend you to someone else. And that way you build trust with someone because they see you have their best interest in mind, and they'll tell you what the true objection is. I've had so many of my clients say, Yasser, I really want to work with you, but honestly, it's just the money. Or I really want to work with you, Yasser, but honestly, I don't know if it's going to work for me. And if I know what the true objection is because I build trust with them, I can help them understand better. So trust is an absolute essential for your sales. Eagerness. This is one thing a lot of my clients fall into as well. They're so eager to make the sale. They get on the call with a client. They're like, I can do this for you. I can do that. I can help you with ABC. I can give you a 9-month guarantee. And if you work with me, we'll do a... And they're just trying to sell so hard. They're trying so hard to convince them to buy. They're so eager. Now remember, if someone's coming to you, they have the problem and you have the solution. So naturally, when someone has a problem, where do they go? They go towards someone who has a solution. So who should have the leverage here? The leverage should be with the person who has a solution. So if you have the solution to someone's problem, why are you selling it? They should see the value in it. So therefore, there's like a gap in the value because you're too eager. When you're too eager, someone else senses it. They're like, if this person has a lot of people they're helping, if they're really good at their job, they probably have a lot of people coming to them. They don't have to be so eager to try to sell me this service. They don't have to be so eager to want this more for me than I want it for myself. And a lot of times, this comes out in tonality. You like my service, right? How does that sound? I think I can help you with this. I can help you with that. You're bending over backwards for them. And in your speech, you're really fast. You're throwing a lot of words. You're pitching for 5 minutes straight. These are all indicators that you're being a little too eager. So if you're too eager, people get suspicious, you lose trust with them, and then they won't buy, right? Last thing to note is body language. So I want to talk about facial expressions because if you're on a Zoom call with somebody, sometimes I see like this little face here. One of my clients, he's always like, like that on the call. Like, so what challenge are you having? What are you doing this for? Why aren't you doing that? And the whole thing, if you're feeling a certain emotion, you're going to emit that emotion. If you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling stress, the other person will feel stress. Even if they come in really happy and you're anxious, people feed off each other's emotions, right? So if you're making this face the whole time, you're making someone feel a little bit stressed out, they're going to be less trustworthy of you because they feel like the pressure's too much to tell you what the real problem is, and they're not going to buy as much. So just be relaxed, Put a smile on your face, okay? Just remember, it doesn't have to be like that, because again, you go back into ego territory. Hey, how's it going? I'm so excited to be on a call with you. I really want to help you. I really want to solve your problem. It's too eager, because then it sounds like this is a big event for you. You've never been on a call with somebody before. You've never done this. If you're a professional and you've been on 100 sales calls, you're not going to be that excited on every single sales call. Not to say you shouldn't be excited. You should be, but you should have what's called, Jordan Belfort calls it bottled enthusiasm. You can sense the enthusiasm, but it's not eagerness, right? It's not like, I need your business, please, 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 please. It's not that. So you can have a steady smile. Hey, thank you so much for getting on the call. I'm really excited to get on the call and discussing what your challenges are. If I can help you out, I'd let you know. If not, I'd refer you to somebody else. Notice how you can sense that I've done this before, I've been on these calls before, but I'm also not too eager. The other thing with body language is some people, they lean too far in front of the camera. So they'll be like this, and then they'll constantly be moving left and right. So let's say we're having a conversation. You say, what's the price? Yeah, the price, the thing with the price is that we have 4 different, and the way you hesitate, the way you react to difficult questions, it conveys a lot. It shows that you haven't been in these situations before. You're not comfortable with your pricing. You're not comfortable discussing these difficult topics. So be very, very aware of how you react around certain topics. So if you're talking about, let's say, pricing, and you start fidgeting or you start moving around, I know some people who they'll be wearing earphones, and whenever the topic of price comes in, they'll just start doing this or start doing that or start just adjusting their seat. Everyone has like their nervous fidgets, right? So be aware of what changes in your body language. If you're comfortable now and someone mentions a certain topic, what do you then start doing because it's uncomfortable? So when you're on video with someone, it's very important to keep those things in mind and keep them under control and slow things down, okay? One of the best tips I can give you on a sales call, this is something I have trouble with too, slow everything down. Because when you slow down, you give them more time to process, you give yourself more time to think, and both parties have more time to see this is a good fit, because you have more time to think through the conversation you're having, as opposed to brrrr, and then you're just so eager, right? So facial expression, just keep a smile. Bottled enthusiasm, you're passionate about what you do, but you're not eager about it. Be laid back, be relaxed, pretend like you've done this a ton of times. I personally wear Hawaiian shirts on my t-shirt because I want to show them I'm so relaxed about what I do. This is my uniform basically, because I'm outside most of the time, and this is just who I am as a person. So I don't wear a suit and tie, all of that. I used to do that every single call, suit, tie, background, everything, but I'm like, this is not my brand. I tell people that you can be casual. You're going to see me like this on coaching calls anyway, so you might as well get used to it. So be authentic to yourself, all right? So these are just some of the basics: vocal tonality, friendly curiosity, ask questions not to be accusatory or be overly interested in their situation. Friendly, curious. Hey, I'm curious. Why did you get into this field? Or I'm interested to know, when you tried this, why did you then choose to do that? Just so I know. Add some context there. Control whoever asks the most amount of questions, or whoever's asking questions. Now remember, don't make this an interrogation. Question. Ask a question, they get a reply, recap what they said, make sure you understand, ask them another question. Make sure this is a conversation. These are things we practice so much in my program. If you are interested in that, check out the description. But tonality, delivery, it's so important to get this thing down, guys. Authority, do they believe that you are an authority and expert in what you do? The way you carry yourself, the things you talk about, the insights you share are going to be a big determinant of that. Trust, is there less pressure? Do they feel like they can trust you? Do they feel they can be open with you, vulnerable with you? This is going to dictate how much they tell you, and that's everything. If you can get your client to tell you everything, regardless of whether they can afford your service or not, you have won the game. Eagerness, how eager are you? Do they want it more for themselves, or do you want it more for them? Who wants to sell who here? So remember, you have to be less eager than them. And lastly, body language. Don't be like this. Don't be too stressed out. Smile, lay back, relaxed, and have a conversation with somebody, okay? So we're going to be making a lot more videos like this about sales specific for coaches, career coaches, life coaches. I've got all kinds of coaches in my program. We go through lead generation. We go through packaging and pricing, how to raise your prices, and how to actually sell them once you get on a call with somebody. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If you do like this kind of content, I appreciate it if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. It does help my channel out a lot. I will see you in the next one. Take care.